Hello everybody and welcome to this general playthrough for the City Park 2, which is City Park with new hole locations. In this video I will take you through showing you the new hole locations, giving you an idea with elevation and shot techniques on how to attack this terrible course. There is no doubt that this is one of my least favorite courses, and I do think it comes down to just the old hole location. I'm giving the new hole location the proper chance, at least up here in my my mind. But let me know what you think about the City Park in the description down below. Before we take a closer look at everything, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can scan the QR code here on the screen or use the link in the description down below, that is patreon.com/golf-tommy. We do offer 9-hole cup guides for expert and master division. We obviously offer 18-hole tournament guides, and we do have tour play guides, we do have checkpoint challenge guide. We have something for each and every one. So if you do want to have something quick that it's dialed in, then it is the best on the market according to the community and obviously ourselves, then you go to patreon.com/golf-tommy. Find the info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there's always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Or hole number 1. The pin is now a little bit more right than before, but a similar type of principle is what we're gonna apply. We want to use a 3 right spin here and also some back spin, trying to allow for the slope to do the job to have the ball to roll down towards the pin. What you need to have in mind though is that using the right side of the green is better than using the left, because if you are too far right, the ball may actually roll down towards the hole again. 10% elevation. Or max plus 10, hitting perfect, and you can see here that we're bouncing fairly close to the rough and sand, and that's all calculated for because it bounces us more left, comes in, and unfortunately taking a 360 around the hole on hole number 1. But this par 3 has never been easy, and it won't be easy now either. I don't think it's strange when I say that this is my least favorite par 4 in the whole game, and that I build on based on playing this hole so many times, and there is very little room for error here, where getting a consistent drive is probably one of the toughest things you can do on City Park. NMT, not touching the target until it's time to adjust the rings. 5.8 topspin, 3 left spin, max plus 10, using 1.5 ball of left curl and using overpower whatever I adjust into. Ball bounces on the fairway, down the fairway, and now we do have 2 options: either go for a rough bump or we go for a bounce up towards the pin. Playing with a ball with a lot of wind resistance and side spin is very helpful here. It's not a must, but again, it's helpful because this is once again a tough par 4. On the second shot, here we do have headwind and I do have the sniper, then the rough bump is out of play, especially when we're playing with a P3 ball. A P5 ball or P4 ball would definitely be better when it comes to the rough bump. Now I'm aiming right side of the pin, approximately 1 green square, adjusting through club distance, no elevation. 3 left spin is what I'm looking for here, is to take myself away from the rough and the sand on the left as much as possible. Doing a bounce over like this is not going to be the bestest chance for a drop. Then the rough bump is by far superior doing so, even with the new hole location. But bouncing up like that is going to make it a very simple way to get a birdie with an outside chance of an eagle. Hole number 3, yuck. So here we're playing for an eagle, and when we do have any form of crosswind or headwind, we are, however, though, going to in tailwind. If you do have the possibility to play with topspin boost balls from the second tee, then do so, because then you can actually reach over to the second fairway, and then it opens up for a possibility to drop an albatross from distance. But other than that, if you can't reach over the massive rough patch, then it's going to be an eagle and only play, where an eagle is going to be considered a drop here on this par 5. Max plus 10. Goal here in headwind is to just be having a controlled drive to get up the fairway. We don't want to roll into the rough because that's just stupid. second shot, we are going to do another layup shot. And here, I value consistency, which is that I'm actually laying up on the left-hand side here, using a little bit of left spin together with some backspin to position myself for a rough bump with a sniper from distance. Sure, you can bounce over the rough in the middle and then try to go for a rough bump from there instead, but I do believe with the new hole location being much more left, that we are allowing ourselves for a much better attack for it if we going on the more left. There we go. See, simple one there. Now on the third shot, we are going to play minus 5% elevation for this rough bump here. We're not going to play 0. I'm going to change that as we're playing 0 on the second shot. I'm going to just change it for the third shot here. Minus 5 is what we're looking for. And then true club distance. You can see here now that there is a massive funnel going back, but the problem is when the pin stands so far left, it's not much of a funnel that we can actually access. It would be if so to come in more from the right, but again, it's very steep and it's very easy to not be able to use that funnel. So I'm not actually sure that the regular way to play this hole to try to catch that massive funnel is the way to go, if you're not using some type of backspin shot or something like that. But in that case, you don't have a ball guideline, you have to guess. So many ifs and buts here, but attacking the pin dead on is definitely a possibility here from distance. Fortunately, a minor great right, and it's missing like a great right should, where a perfect ball would have a good chance for an eagle. Tough hole, very boring par 5. For hole number 4, and now the pin stands more in the middle of the green, a little bit favoring on the left-hand side. And what needs to be said though is that they have somewhat flattened out the green a little bit, so even if you would roll down, you will not roll down in a way that you would roll down to a massive putt or something like that. I'm choosing to go for the Guardian here, as with a side spin 3 ball, I kind of limiting myself from going for the rough bump. If you have a side spin 4 or a side spin 5 ball, you can go for the rough bump and actually play into a nice little sticky spot that is behind the pin. Max plus 10, bounce on the fringe, up past the pin, rolls back and just missing on the right hand side. In the end though, it's a safe birdie and we're taking little to no risk here, as all the backspin makes this be a very controlled shot. On the drive here on hole number 5, here we're going to push the drive hard, as there is tons of value getting up into short iron range to pin. You can see where I'm backing up to make sure that the tree is not gonna be in play, red ring by the rough line. I'm using 5.8 top spin and 3 left spin, which applies to lower level epochs as well. Max plus 10 is what we're looking for. Center the ball, hit perfect. Bounces nicely on the fairway, and we're getting a controlled distance with doing a shot like that, as we're having pretty high bounces, and then it usually slows down and becomes very consistent. Now on the second shot, we are going to play with the short iron that we do prefer. The important part is to have a good ball guideline, and here I'm not ruling out different ways of playing here, but they move the pin more left, which means that we're not going to use the slight slope that is on the right there. You can also see that it opens up for some rough bumps from distance with the sniper and stuff like that. 2 left, 2 back. And you can see here now that we could actually take advantage of the slope there, but I don't really see that as a funnily situation, so I will decide to just go right at pin instead. True club distance, no elevation, P, and then obviously whatever power ball you're using. So true club distance, no elevation. And Thorn here is kind of like a universal club. It's a club that you get upgraded kind of quick, and it has a pretty decent ball guideline when you get it to level 9. Perfect ball it is, and we'll see the ball bounce nicely on the fairway before the green, comes up, takes that little turn, dropping dead center for the eagle on hole 5, which I do consider one of the easier holes of the City Park, and should be a drop in my opinion. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for Expert and Master Division of the Big Apple 9-Hole Cup. We offer, as usual, 9-Hole Cup guides for Expert Division and Master Division. So signing up for any of our packages that includes the 9-Hole Cup gives you access to both divisions. So you're not controlled by Expert or Master, not on our platform. Obviously, you can bundle that together with tour play guides, checkpoint challenge guides, and regular 18-hole tournament guides as well. So if you do want to get part of a community which has been ranked to have the best master guides in the community and also do have the quickest guides out there, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link is in the description down below, or you can use the QR code at any point here in this video. Hole 6 is one of those par 5s where you always hope for a tailwind, because, I mean, tailwind in the sense of that you can actually then send it close to green or by the green, because the fact is, playing this par 5 otherwise is like on the brink of boring, because there are so much inconsistency before the sand there by the green, so bouncing over that is almost becomes a lucky alba. But the drive though is actually fairly straightforward. We are bouncing on the top left here, and it doesn't matter what type of wind direction we have, we are going to bounce there. Use, in this case, when we do have a tailwind, I would like you to use 6 bars topspin if you have that. If you do have a crosswind, I would the ultimate topspin would be 7. And in a headwind, if any topspin you have is what's going to be used. Whereof a big topper would be a perfect example of a driver that could be used, especially in headwinds. But the reason we want to use a lot of topspins to get as far down the fairway possible, to be able to have a look at the not hole 9 obviously, but having a look at the albatross on hole 6. Playing with a P5 ball as well is, in my opinion, I would say crucial if you're not just going to go for the simple eagle. Because with a P5 ball, like even with a P5 ball, we're gonna be very close to max distance on our second shot. And here it's all about finding a nice and flat first bounce spot. Then obviously playing with a club such as the Guardian with not as good ball guideline, it's going to become a situation where you're gonna have to guess a little bit how the ball is going to act after the first bounce. And that's the thing. There are so many bumps here. It may not look like that, but there are so many bumps on that fairway that will make this being a very difficult drop to get from distance. So we have minus 5% elevation, true club distance, which is always going to be around max. We're adjusting a little bit too much and also having the ball guideline a little bit short. It looks like we do have the line though, even though I do think we would have missed to the right if starting a little bit higher up. But hole 6, super tough one to get an albatross. Hole number 7, I've started to fall in love a little bit with the right hand side. Usually I've just went left all the time, and I must say though, if we do have a lot of tailwind, we can try to use a P5 ball and blast it down the left hand side to allow to a much easier second shot. The pin stands a little bit more to the left than before and a little bit shorter in terms of the bunker. Adjust max plus 10 using 4 top spin, 1 left spin, playing with the quarterback all the way. Perfect ball it is, and we're looking to be safely down the fairway on the right. And the reason I do enjoy this type of play rather than going left is I do believe that this drive here from the right is so much more consistent. You know me, when it comes to consistency, I value that over anything else, even though I might get a couple of more yards on the left, but the consistency will help me and dial in the second shot. Now, we're going to do a rough bump. I'm going to play over the bunker. Here, if you don't feel confident by doing so, you can use the right spin and use the fairway on the left instead. But for those that do want to have a good chance for a drop, we're going to play a rough bump. There is a little sticky spot on the left side of the pin. It's all about finding the correct spot there though. But what I'm doing here, I'm using the red ring as reference point, and then I'm using spins to have the ball guideline just click over. So it basically shows to be just above the bunker. Ball guideline to the hole from there. We're gonna play no elevation here and true club distance. In this instance, playing max. You can see I'm wiggling around a lot here. Just find a good spot here, looking for specific spot. The reason we're aiming so close to the bunker is due to the tailwind, as it will move our ball further up, so it will fly longer, carry longer when it shows. It's a little bit of an aggressive type of approach, but I do believe that this rough bump, since we found this rough bump way back now, this has opened up for giving us a much better chance for a drop from distance from this hole. For hole number 8, I do believe that amongst the par 3s, this is the par 3 that has changed the most. Playing a backspin shot here is going to be very difficult, as you don't really have the slope to take advantage of. You can maybe go with a backspin boost ball or something like that, or maybe some winds the backspin will still be in play. But I do think we are going to focus ourselves into a sand bump, or maybe even a rough bump in a specific way. The sand bump has, by experience, been actually very good in terms of needed very little wind angle tweaks. Medium distance, no elevation, the ball jumps up, missing just left, but coming in with good speed. It looks like we're coming in too hot, but there is a downslope just after the pin that it makes it roll a little bit further than what we want. Side spin 3 ball is recommended here, and again, the top spin will vary massively depending on what wind angle you have. On hole number 9, playing an NMT with a quarterback and a P3 ball. Once we have done that, we are swapping to a POC, and in this instance, Cataclysm and bag. The reason for the Cataclysm is to give ourselves a lot of power, but also some decent accuracy in the end. The ball guideline with Cat 8 is obviously great, but it's not something that is crucial. Adjust max plus 10, and using 5.8 topspin and 3 right spin, max curl to the right with a slow needle OP. The idea here is to make this drive simple with very little risk, and we bounce nicely and sits nicely there on the fairway. Now, on the second shot, now they've actually moved the pin into a position that is much more favorable than before, and you're gonna see why, and that is that they have opened up for a big funnel. So in this instance, they have taken a tough par 5 to have been making this one. I'm gonna say that this is going to be a shot that if you have a solid adjustment suggested to you, you're going to see yourself dropping this shot pretty a decent bunch. You can see here now though that you can see when I'm moving back and forth, you can see how much of the ball guideline just being stuck. But it's all about finding the correct spot so we're playing into the funnel with the wind that we're having. And that's not something that I did explore here when I was playing just for the general playthrough, but obviously something that will be explored depending on what wind angle you have in the tournament. But make sure to have the ball guideline to go back towards the hole, otherwise you're going to be short. But this is definitely an interesting route, but it's going to require, if you play with a sniper, it's going to require power 4 ball minimum. Otherwise, you're going to have to play with a Cataclysm. And playing with a sniper will be super valuable for the better ball guideline. You see, we bounce into the rough, we roll past, and we do have the line. It's just that we are not getting far up enough on the green for the ball to actually roll into the hole. No elevation, true club distance. Very interesting new approach on hole 9. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this playthrough for the City Park 2, which is City Park with new hole locations. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you got some ideas on how to attack the holes that will help you in the upcoming 9-hole cup, and also when you play it in tour play, whenever it gets to tour play. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy and sign up to the best guides on the market, the quickest guide on the market as well, and start crushing tournaments together with us. We offer tour play and checkpoint challenge guides as well. Link once again in the description down below, or scan the QR code. Thank you so much once again for watching. Don't forget the thumbs up before you go. Good luck and thank you.